Hi everyone, it is Monica here from TVandPopcorn.com, and I am here to give my review on Gotham Season 2, Episode 13, titled A Dead Man Feels No Cold. And I must say, I really did enjoy this episode. This is the second episode back from Gotham's season finale, or should I say winter finale, which left off on episode 11 of season 2. And in episode 11 of season 2, at the end, we saw them introduce Mr. Freeze, which I thought was super cool. And I was really, I guess you can say, I thought it was really cool how they introduced Mr. Freeze, number one, which of course sticking to the storyline of Mr. Freeze trying to save his wife. So he's trying to come up with a way to freeze her body to stop the disease from spreading, and then also trying to find a way to revive her. Now, I must say and admit before I go any further in my review here that I have not read the Batman comics. I'm not a comic book reader. Maybe I'll start later on, but I was introduced to Batman more so through the movies, and that was starting with Batman with Michael Keaton. So I know that's terrible for a lot of you guys who actually do read the comics, but I wanted to confess that. So if I sound like an amateur speaking about Batman and the history, I pretty much am. Just saying. So I just wanted to say that. Now, as far as the episode is concerned, I'm a huge Batman fan as far as, you know, the storyline. I've loved the movies. And when I first heard about Gotham, I was very interested in knowing how they were going to actually pull this off. And they're kind of going back and doing the origins of, you know, how everything got started with Batman or Bruce Wayne. And I love how Gotham is taking place pretty much after Bruce Wayne's parents are killed. And that's something that the movies didn't necessarily cover, in a sense of course, we saw a lot of Bruce Wayne's flashbacks, but we really didn't see what was taking place in the city and Bruce Wayne actually growing up, you know. So we're actually watching this. And speaking of Bruce Wayne, right now in season 2, where we are currently as of episode 13, Bruce Wayne is looking for his parents' murderer, which Galavan said that he was going to give this name up to Bruce Wayne, but ended up burning it in the fire. And with everything that happened with Galavan, Bruce Wayne is still adamant about finding his parents' killer. So, of course, Alfred is, I guess you can say, the guardian over Bruce Wayne at this point, and he's trying to let Bruce Wayne know, of course, you do not want to go down this road of revenge. You do not want to have murder on your hands, because Bruce Wayne wants to kill this guy. So it's been nice watching, you know, the ups and downs of Bruce Wayne as he's younger, and understanding how it leads up to him being, I guess you can say, the vigilante of the city of Gotham. And so right now with season 2, episode 13, A Dead Man Feels No Cold, we're seeing Gordon and Harvey and the police department there in pursuit of, now by the media, called Mr. Freeze, which actually his last name is Fries, which I thought was interesting. And of course, like I said, if that's his name in the comics, I had no idea. I've always known him as Mr. Freeze. I knew his first name was Victor, but I've always called him Victor Freeze. So right now they're in pursuit of Victor Freeze, and he is right now on his way to the insane asylum to get his wife, which is a trap that was set up by the law enforcement. So in this episode, what I thought was really cool was how they played everything out. I remember from the movies that Victor Freeze was actually, he had his wife frozen, and he was looking for a way to bring her back. And so that was from the movies, but I love how it played out in the show, where his wife actually changed out the, I guess you could say, the antidote, which is, I guess, was a between freezing and also reviving her at the same time. But she switched the cartridge out, and cartilage. Am I saying that right? Okay, you guys, that's a word that I always say wrong. But anyway, bypass all that. She switched the thing out, and and she ended up putting in the wrong one, which she knew she was, and she wanted to go ahead and kill herself. That way Victor would not have that burden of trying to bring her back, because she knew what he was doing at this point. She found out that he was actually freezing people and trying to bring them back to life. In return, he was actually killing them because, of course, they were his tests before he found out or got the real antidote or came up with the actual cure to be able to freeze her and then bring her back. So we leave off, very interestingly, where it looks like Victor Fries actually committed suicide, which I was pretty much willing to accept. I did not expect the twist at the end where he is now in a room that's being kept below freezing temperatures so that he can live. And what was said was, it come to find out, because he was testing the antidote so often that his body had actually gotten immune to certain things, and he kind of was carrying around the cure within himself, doing all the tests. So when he did try to commit suicide after his wife died, they were able to revive him and bring him back. And so this was really cool when they mentioned the suit that they was going to have for him, that he'll be able to walk around in Gotham. So it's going to be more to come on that. I believe I feel like the whole episode, in my opinion, was very easy flowing. It didn't seem, I guess you can say, it seemed creative. Let me put it that way. It didn't seem like they were just, copying any type of script or storyline that was put out there before. Even though some things were familiar, I really just liked the creativity that they put behind everything. And right now, Oswald, with his crazy self, he is in the insane asylum, and I really hate that Gordon is leaving him there. I don't feel like it's fair, personally, because Gordon really did kill Gallivan, and of course, Oswald is taking the credit for the kill, which he did. He played a role in it. I mean, he beat the guy senseless, but he's taking the credit for the full murder. And I feel like Gordon should, in some ways, reach out to Oswald. I mean, Oswald is a criminal, no doubt, but wrong is wrong, no matter what the justifications are. And the truth is, Gordon really did kill Gallivan. So in that case, I feel like there's a responsibility for him to make sure that Oswald is not mistreated wherever he is. I mean, he doesn't have to break him out, but he does need to at least make sure that he's getting proper care, which he is not in this insane asylum, which is driving me nuts. This guy, Hugo Strange, and Ether Peabody, his little partner in crime, they're driving me nuts. And I'm not familiar with them. Once again, if they're in the comics, I'm not familiar with their characters, so I'm just now getting familiar with them. But it seems like they're testing on dead people, or I don't know what they're doing. Are they trying to make a elite group of villains? Are they villains? Somebody's gonna have to comment for me and put me in on this and let me know what's going on. Move me up to speed on that. But I don't like them. They drive me nuts, especially Ether. I mean, she's evil. I can just tell she's evil. Also in this episode, Lisa Tompkins, of course, she's pregnant now. This is Gordon's girlfriend. Not really her fan. I feel like you already know you're in a jacked up city with everything that she's witnessed so far, being with Gordon at this point. She already knows what he's up against. Either you're going to ask the man to be moral and put his life in danger, or you're going to be willing to sit back while he does what he needs to do. Gordon is not necessarily a bad guy. I do believe that, he just likes justice and he wants to see people brought to justice. But I don't feel like Gordon is just going to cross over to the dark side. Some people feel like he is. I don't feel like he's going to. I think that if he does, then it's just going to be more so in the form of revenge against those who are committing crime in Gotham, which is not necessarily a bad thing. But at this point, Gordon also has to get to the point where he's able to accept responsibility, and he needs to do what he has to do to make sure that he doesn't step on the toes of the very people who's helping him eliminate certain crimes, like Oswald. Oswald has really been nice to Gordon, and I've kind of liked that, because I feel like if they were up against each other all the time, it would be harder for me to watch. I hate watching people be up against each other the whole season. It drives me nuts, where there's like no allegiance whatsoever. So I'm hoping that wherever he went in this episode, when he grabbed his keys and walked out after Lisa gives him this girlfriend talk, I'm hoping that he went to think twice about, you know, what Oswald was telling him about him being tortured in the insane asylum. But Lisa's pregnant right now. I don't know where their relationship's going to go. I feel like Gordon really, in the lifestyle that he leads, he needs to be by himself. I mean, I'm not going to say leave your baby mama behind or anything, but he really does. He needs to be by himself. That way, when you have no responsibility in the sense of you have someone you have to answer to every time you come home, not that that's a bad thing, but when you are only responsible for yourself, it helps in the line of duty that he has now committed himself to, in the lifestyle he's committed himself to. So I feel like he needs to they need to put ice on their relationship. And I did not mean that as a pun, because we're talking about an episode with Mr. Freeze. But I'm just saying. Anyway, and let's see, who else did I need to cover here that I was thinking about? Oh, Barbara. Did I bring up Barbara? I haven't brought up her yet. Okay. So Barbara is still in a coma in the insane asylum. That's going to be interesting. And Lisa had the nerve to grab her face. Of course, you know, she gave her a few choice woman words, because, you know, her and Barbara's relationship is just not cute whatsoever. So Barbara is still in a coma, and I was hoping that she did not come out of that coma while we were in this episode, and thank goodness she did not. When she's going to come out this coma, I have no idea. But I'm not looking forward to it, that's for sure. Hopefully she's a different person, or maybe she's back to the Barbara we knew in season 1, maybe in the first few episodes, where she was just a nice, sweet girlfriend of Gordon type thing. Wishful thinking, I know, but I'm just saying. So there's a lot going on. A lot of villains in the works here. And I did see they also took Gallivan's body into the insane asylum in another episode. So that's going to be crazy. I don't know what they're doing with these people. So somebody's going to have to let me know. So if you know, comment, let me know. And I'll comment back with a huge thank you for catching me up to speed. And Butch, who was Oswald's little sidekick before Butch went over to work for Gallivan, Butch is now running things, and it's kind of weird to watch him, I guess you could say, running Gotham to me. We'll see how that goes. I know that Oswald may have a plan to get out soon. I don't know what's going to happen to him, but he now has, and I'm trying to get his name really quick because I have so many names I'm trying to remember here. What's my buddy's name? Crazy. Edward Nigma. The Riddler. He now has Edward Nigma as a friend. So there's something that's going to go down there. I think they'll make a good little villain team. And what's interesting about these guys, Edward and Oswald, is neither one of them are just out for blood just for no reason. They all have their triggers. Like you have your villains who are just cold-blooded killers and don't care. But these are villains who, you know, if they see anybody being mistreated, or if you cross them the wrong way and you're just heartless, then you may want to watch your back. So I think that with those two, they'll make a good team. I wouldn't mess with them. I wouldn't want to be on their bad sides. I'm just saying. So that's it for this episode. That's all I can think of right now. I have so much more that I could say because I wanted to cover the premiere. But what I'm going to do is just keep going here and watching the show throughout the rest of the season and see how everything goes. Forgive me here if my voice is getting raspy. I'm getting over a cold, which is why I haven't been able to do any reviews in the past few weeks. I didn't even sound like myself at all until the last 3 or so days. So forgive my raspiness on this particular review. But once again, you guys, this is Monica. You can check me out at any time at TVandPopcorn.com. And if you enjoyed my little review, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I would love to have you guys as a subscriber. And if you have any comments and you want to start an awesome little conversation here about Gotham, please leave me a comment. I try to comment back to every comment that I receive here on my channel that's good and awesome and worth the conversation. So definitely drop me a comment below. I want to thank you guys for your time and listening in, and I will talk to you guys soon on my next review.